Lincoln, you have a unique perspective on what makes a Heisman quarterback. What would you say is Caleb's case right now for Heisman candidacy?
He's playing at a really, really high level. I mean, he's had one turnover, a lot of touchdowns. His team's won a lot of games. He's done it with different ways. He's done it here as of late with without some really impactful players being able to play both on the line and obviously at the skill positions. And he's been as valuable as any player in the country. I mean, I think it's pretty simple. And so, I mean, this stuff always plays out, right? It's like a lot of that stuff, just like conference races and all that, will be decided here as time goes. But I mean, up to this point, I don't think there's been a better and more valuable player in college football than him.
Thanks.
Adam?
Yeah, Lincoln, you talked Tuesday about, just the team hasn't been able in recent weeks to put together, all three sides clicking at the same time. What would it mean for the team's confidence to have a game like that on Friday where all three sides are going?
I don't know if it'd have a ton to do with the confidence. I mean, we have a confident group. I mean, our guys, all three sides expect to play very well and believe we're very capable of doing it. And so I don't know that it'll have as much effect on the confidence, but yeah, I mean, sure, it's great to go play well on all three sides. I mean, you win 8 of your first 9, you're going to be pretty confident, and we're pretty confident right now, and know that we can play better. So it's for us just seeing it as a constant climb, and that's really what this thing is. It's a true journey, and there's still so much left to go in terms of opportunities, impactful opportunities for our program, and I think these guys are very, very excited about this one, and we've put ourselves in a great position. And I gotta be honest, I think that's getting lost like around here a little bit. Like don't forget where this thing was last year. And I think a lot of people have. Like, we're 8-1. We're with everything in front of us. Like, let's make sure we have some perspective around here. And again, regardless if this program won the national championship the year before, all right, or this program, lost a bunch of games the year before, like, we're in a phenomenal position. And every person that supports USC football, whether they do or not, they ought to recognize that. And I just want to make sure that's not getting lost around here. We're damn sure not letting it get lost in our locker room. And we're in a tremendous, tremendous spot, and really excited about it. And obviously our expectations go play extremely well on all three sides. And I believe we will.
Jack?
Hey, Lincoln, you mentioned a lot of changes coming with the short week. How do you think the team responded to all those changes, and how would you assess the readiness going into game day tomorrow?
Yeah, I feel like, well, it's a new challenge for us. You get your body clocks, your you get so settled in from a schedule standpoint, and all of a sudden it changes, and it throws you a little bit. And especially, again, like for us, this is another thing that all of us haven't done together yet. And so we tried to be very clear about the plan from day one. We've really challenged these guys to handle it with a professional mindset. And the reality is you can't do things the way you do with 24 hours less. And I think it's on us as a staff to spell out, all right, here's why, here's the plan, here's what you got to do. And then the guys have got to go embrace it. I think we've handled it well, but we'll see a lot of that with our performance tomorrow night. So pleased with the week, pleased with the effort, but obviously still kind of a lot of that to go in terms of kind of recovery, the mental preparation. I mean, the mental side is so important because no matter what you do, you're not going to get the same amount of reps that you get on a full week. And so every rep becomes that much more important. And then the mental preparation on the side for the guys is critical. So, hopefully we've done a good job of that, right? Because that'll show up in the quality of play tomorrow.
Ryan Karchi?
Hey, Lincoln, just really quick. Any change in the optimism surrounding Jordan and Mario for Saturday? And also, I know we've seen Jude Wolf kind of practicing a little bit more, or just at least being involved in a limited basis, what we've seen. How close is he as far as you can tell to, being back in the rotation?
Yeah, I feel comfortable saying right now that Jordan and Raylan, I believe, are on track to play, barring a setback. We expect those two to play. Mario Gentry will be game time decisions still. Not quite as far along, but still with an opportunity. Yeah, and Jude's doing well. He's coming off foot surgery. Has really progressed. He's starting to get back on land, being able to run around, and so now it's kind of functionally getting him back up to speed. The conditioning level, there's such a. It's not like, well, he's cleared by the doctors and all of a sudden he's ready to go play high level college football the next day, right? There's certainly a build up to it. He's in the middle of that. It would be great to certainly be able to have him available here in the back end of this season. He's not ready yet. He won't play this week, but he's making some nice progress. So, hopefully, here towards the end, and if it's not the end of the regular season, potentially in the postseason, would be great to have him back.
Eric?
Lincoln, Mason Murphy started at each tackle spot the last 2 weeks. How would you describe, I guess, the challenges of a young guy being asked to do that, and then also your assessment of his performance?
He's done pretty well, yeah, because his first 2 starts, as you said, are at different positions. Pretty impressive for a young guy to be able to do it. I would certainly give some of that credit to some of the experienced guys that he's had the opportunity to play next to. That's absolutely, I think, been a factor, but he's done well. He's played well. He's limited minimal mistakes, and you certainly see his talent out there. He's talented enough that his good plays look pretty good, and even when he's out of position, his athleticism shows up, and he's able to at times get himself out of some bad positions. So needless to say, we've been impressed. I mean, he's for us to have the confidence in him to do that back-to-back weeks in his first 2 starts shows. I think the confidence it's building in him, and that's again because of the work that he's put in on the practice field, and you see the guy starting to mature as a competitor and starting to mature as a player and in his preparation. So it's been cool to see him start to take off.
Mark?
Hey, Coach. You were touching on players who possibly could be available for postseason play, like Jude Wolfe. On that same note, where's Damani Jackson? And one of the things I've noticed is Zion Branch. He suits up on game day at home. How close is he to maybe possibly playing in the postseason?
Yeah, Zion, with just the nature of the injury, probably won't happen. We'd love to. I mean, he looks good running around there in pads, and he's gonna be a tremendous player here. He's very, very far ahead of schedule. So we've been really impressed with his rehab. Although with the nature of the injury, it's not one that we're going to rush him back. Damani progressing. Still certainly think there's a shot for him to be available for us here in the back end of the year. He's certainly closer than further away, and so yeah, we hope to here at the end of the regular season and postseason have his services available. So he's made some really nice progress the last few weeks, starting to get him on the ground, moving, doing some drill work. So he's certainly getting close and would be a nice added boost for us right now.
And then on the short week, how confident are you with the secondary's improvement over last week coming into Colorado?
Yeah, I'm a short week, much impact on that. I mean, the deal for that with the secondary. I mean, again, it's like, everybody says, well, if you don't have enough sacks, the D-line's not playing good, right? If you give up passing yards, secondary's not playing good. Like it's team defense, right? It's not, there's plays in the secondary that we certainly need to be better, and again, the ones that showed up last week, a couple of busts that hurt us, and then, a couple of tip balls and opportunities to pick off balls that we didn't make. So we got to make the most of our opportunities there. But the reality is, we got to play better at linebacker. We've got our coverage and our ability to affect the game at linebacker position shows up. We got to be able to rush the passer all 4 quarters. We did some nice things on the defensive front the first 3 quarters of the game last week. We weren't nearly as impactful as we expect to be, and as we were the first 3 quarters in the fourth quarter. So at the end of the day, it takes 4 quarters, and it takes it at all levels of the defense. We've obviously stressed that this week, and that's the expectation that our guys will play to that level all 4 quarters.
Thank you, Coach.
I'm going to wrap it up with these last two. Antonio?
Hey, Lincoln, this is another status question. Xavian Alford was a guy who seemed like he might have contributed early in the year if he was healthy, and we haven't seen him since. Is he someone you expect to see back at any point this season?
Xavian had to have a kind of a small medical, I say small, but not major medical procedure, but had to get a couple of things cleaned up. So we're continuing to monitor his rehab and try to progress him. I would say he's not close right now. I mean, there's certainly some time, and we'll see how that unfolds. But our expectation is that he would not be available for the rest of the year.
And we'll wrap it up with Ryan.
We've talked about the defense and trying to get them back on track. What involvement do you have with that? How much time do you have to kind of collaborate with Alex and be involved in that side of things?
I would say not really anything's changed there. I'm certainly behind the scenes in the office and around in conversations with Alex and the defensive staff. I mean, that's just as much as I am normally. We converse about everything from plan throughout the week and how we're going to play guys and adjust. And obviously there's, those conversations have been a little heavier the last few weeks because just the different lineup changes and different guys available and not available. So we certainly had to tweak to adjust for that. So, but yeah, like we've been through a bunch, man. Like this, like I said the other day, like this isn't our first rodeo. I mean, the reality is, everybody, the notion is, if you play a good game, it's, oh, you got it figured out and you're so great on this side of the ball or that side of the ball. Then if you play a game where you don't play well, it's like, oh my God, the sky's falling, we're horrible. It's like there's the outside, there's no in between. And I think inside here, you've got to keep a sense of reality, right? The reality is the last several games we've been inconsistent, and we know we can be better. We've also got a lot of evidence this season that we can play some really, really good defense, and we wouldn't be sitting here in the position we are without that. So, right now we're a defense that's on a 8-1 team. That's one of the top 10 teams in the country that we expect to play very well here at the end. And all of our attention's been directed towards that. And we want to play at a high level. And we've been grinding like crazy to get that done. And I believe our guys will.